Kathy White, certified professional ergonomist, and I'm here today to talk to you about your feet. I've just conducted some office ergonomic assessments, and I noticed a recurring theme of people and how they're using their feet with their workstation. When I do assessments, I always start from the bottom and work my way up. So this really is the foundation of a good ergonomic setup, is how are your feet positioned? And this might not be something you think about, so let's just talk through what we're looking for and why it's important. Basically, first thing is your footwear. What are you wearing when you're at your workstation? If you're wearing heels, that's going to drastically influence the rest of your posture from the bottom on up. I do recommend you are wearing a pair of flat-soled shoes if possible, or if you do choose to wear heels when you go in the office, just change into a flat-soled shoe. And the reason that's important is because it influences the rest of your posture. You want your lower legs to be about vertical, and then you want your thighs to be about horizontal to the floor. So when you're wearing heels, it can just start to throw off the rest of the posture. It can put some more pressure on your thighs, and then it can also throw off the posture of your pelvis. You want this to be neutral, and it's not something you can really visualize, but if you're in a situation where your feet are out of position, it can cause that pelvis to rotate backwards, and that puts a lot of pressure on your spine, and it can lead to undue muscle strain and stress over time. So having those feet not only on a level surface, but actually both resting flat on the floor. A lot of what I've been seeing are legs dangling. I see people crossing their legs or trying to use the base of their chair to rest their legs. And there could be a number of reasons for that, but I notice a lot of times people aren't even aware of the postures that they put themselves into. They get so ingrained in their activity. So really start to think about that posture, because it really sets the tone, like I said, for the rest of your leg positioning, your back positioning, that pelvis positioning. Now, something to keep in mind is you might be in a situation where your legs are dangling for a reason, because you also want to make sure your arms are about parallel to the floor with your workstation. Now, if you're in a work surface that's higher, you may find yourself in a situation where you do have to bring up your seat in order to be at a good neutral position for your arms. And now I'm in a situation, as you can see, my feet are dangling because I'm trying to get my arms at the right height. What you can do in those situations is utilize a footrest. And I actually found myself in this situation recently where I was at a high work surface and I had to bring up my chair and I didn't have a footrest available. Then you can just start to work with whatever you have. And I found a box. Here I have a shoe box, but just same concept. You're giving your feet some of that support. You want to make sure when you use that footrest, the front of the seat pan is not pressing on the back of your knees, because that could be another source of contact stress and lead to some uneven circulation. And you want to definitely avoid that. But again, making sure those feet are balanced and that they're both resting on the footrest, and then you have yourself at the right height. Like I said, sometimes we got to kind of work with what we have in order to get ourselves into that supported posture. But I hope some of these tips just give you a better idea of ways that you can support your feet and kind of working from that ground up when you're thinking about the ergonomics of your setup. Thanks for taking the time to listen.